Be back with full auto Tyrant Armor. Now wait. Before you skip ahead to the runs, I want to try something new. If you have been working on an auto run for DC and want to share them, I am trying to create a space for showcasing those. If you got a full auto or semi-auto run, drop a link in the comments and I'll add the run to a pinned comment for everyone to easily find. There are requirements. Your run must achieve the minimum score. The run needs to be uploaded to a platform like YouTube and provide a valid link, and make sure to show your team and gear used in the video. I can't showcase every team and not everyone will have the units or gear I have, but every run shared will help others in the community. If you have a preferred name, let me know, otherwise I will use the name provided in your comment. And of course I have two teams for you guys, my budget and my invested team. My budget team will consist of farmable units and the units available to new players through the selectors. So let's go ahead and check it out. So make sure you turn 2x off. It can mess up the hit checks if you're able to complete them. Now for 0%, this run isn't actually all that hard if you're just after minimum score. You'll understand later when you see the gear that I used on this run. Now, I have this in a specific order so that when Hansorum comes out, she's able to use her ulti during the burst phase and it lines up really well. Same with Sky. Sky's coming out so late so that the S1 from Enterprise and Sky's ulti lines up so we get surefire during the burst window. Now, Casey is an amazing tank for this fight. She actually has a chance to sit there and turn the boss completely around, depending on timing and which way she's facing with that ulti, because if she ulti, she can actually spin behind the boss, turning the ult away from your team. That doesn't happen here, but it did happen on a couple runs. But yeah, so we're just pew-pewing the boss here, killing off some stuff. Now, speaking of Casey, you can use Alex instead. Either one worked really well here. And the fact that we failed to hit check and it lined up with the ulti is a-okay. Our team gets wiped, but we have so much DP left over that everything just comes back and Casey just lives and keeps tanking. Now after this, we really have nothing to worry about because the boss is facing away from us, and we just get to kill the boss for free at this point. Gayun has her ulti primed and ready, just in case you didn't kill it by now. Now since counters are up, Gayun did quite a bit of damage, but like I said, you'll see why that is here in a moment. Alright, so big surprise, I'm not actually running all that much gear for this team. Casey I have just on whatever ground res I can sit there and throw on her. No sets here, though you can give her sets obviously to make it better. HP will probably be her best sets. You can run Alex instead. Alex will accomplish the same thing if you rearmed Alex over Casey, or just generally any frontline that can last a pretty long time will work instead. Rivet and her leader ability makes her really great on this. If you haven't farmed and rearmed her, I would definitely suggest. She's great in DC on a lot of the bosses. As you can see, she has built-in 80% CO damage, and this is without gear, like no gear at all. So you put gear on that and she'll just go ridiculous on this boss. Now Gayun, I do actually have some gear, her EE specifically. I like running her EE, but it's just all for the most part anti-ground. There's a little anti-defender here. But yeah, A speed, depending on how much A speed debuff you're going to sit there and put on the boss, you'll want A speed on her. If not, then attack, anti-defender, both of those work. Whatever set you could probably afford the EE on will probably be good. But the EE is not necessary. Now, Rifleman, you'll see I have gear, but this gear is honestly garbage. I was just sitting there seeing if I put A speed on him, if I can make the hit checks, but clearly I couldn't. So it really doesn't matter, though it did up his damage a tiny bit. But yeah, A speed is probably going to be the best set for him, as they need to be able to hit, or they're used to hit the hit checks. Now, Sorum, no gear here. She's pretty good with her ulti. She provides a lot of burst damage. But obviously you want to have either attack speed anti-defender or attack or attack anti-defender sets with ground damage and anti-defenders. Tarask, I just left this gear on him, but fortunately enough, Tarask doesn't, probably doesn't have a high chance of dying in this run, so you could probably run him on damage gear as well. But if you're worried like I usually am, then just go ahead and throw tank gear. Sky I have on the free-to-play CDR set. Either one works, and tag or the replica set here with 67.8% skill haste. We want to try and get her ulti to line up with Enterprise's S1 for surefire on all units. And then Soyun obviously doesn't have any gear. CDR is probably going to be best for auto, seeing as her special does actually death break the boss, and this boss has quite a high number for its defense. Now, since we're running a bunch of rangers and some supports, Kim Hana's going to be the best setup with, or the best operator with attack speed as your side skill is what you're going to want. You could probably get away with crit damage depending on what attack speed modifiers you take for the boss, or if you just have insane swift gear. And then for Enterprise, I'm using Enterprise to get surefire on the boss. I do have some hit for my soldiers, range damage for my counters, and then some anti-counter. Well, that doesn't really help here, but the 2.5% for rangers does help. Alright, so the mods I'm using for this run, minus 25% attack, minus 50% HP, minus 40% A speed, minus 40% skill haste. I'm not touching the enemy HP, but I am increasing the attack of the enemy by 50% and then reducing my DP by 30%. Alright, time for our invested run. Now, Ecclesia gives your entire team 1000 hit, which actually gives most of them surefire if you shred the boss's evasion by half. So that's why we're actually running Enterprise here, because we're going to get 2 phases of surefire. So that's going to help out really well. Now, Ecclesia also adds a lot of damage to the entire fight, and she just kind of survives pretty well. Like, she almost survives without Chinatsu on this auto run. Besides that, there's actually really not much more to talk about, because all we're doing is sitting here waiting. We have our admin rifle, we have our troopers coming out so that we can make this hit check. This hit check's really not that hard, and as you can sit here and see, Ecclesia has her ulti ready. So as soon as we get out of this, it lines up well. We get our surefire, we get an Ecclesia ulti. We have 70%. Well, once Soyun uses her skill, we'll have 70. We only have 50% death break currently. Now, Soyun uses her skill, we get 70% here, and we're able to sit there and pretty much almost kill the boss. And honestly, we do get ulted. There's really not much we could do to turn this boss around, but since we're already so close to winning, I just let it go and take the score here. Now, much to our surprise, Gayun actually did a lot of damage, but she gets the AoE adds down, so. For the invested team, you're going to see a lot of the same units, though we're going to add a few Awakens and Rearms. So, I'm leading Chinatsu here for the extra 10% on the death break. That should give us somewhere around 70%. Potentially we have 100, but we have no way to sit there and line up the ship skills S2. But let's get into the gear here. So, Ecclesia, I'm running on just CDR tank. She's got 42% because of a couple of latents that give her skill haste. Now, you can run full 76, and she'll be able to do 2 ultis, but neither of the ultis actually line up during the burst phase. So I went with this so that the ulti does line up. Now for Gayun, she does need a little skill haste so that she ultis during the burst phase, but I'm just going full A speed with anti-defender damage. Rivet, I'm going on attack, anti-defender, little skill haste so that she uses her special more. For Chinatsu, I'm just going full CDR. You can put more skill haste on her if you like, but 77 works. 76 should be just fine. It does cut a little close even 77, so if you want to run 80%, that'd probably be better to sit there and say, make sure Ecclesia stays alive. Rifleman, I'm just going full A speed anti-defender. Assault Troopers, we want swift A speed with as much A speed as possible. Their damage somewhat matters, but it doesn't really. They're just there so you can complete the hit checks. Lonely, I have on CDR, full skill haste. This 74 because 2 of my pieces are not T7'd. And then Soyun actually does damage. She's actually good on this boss. So you want to sit there and run her on full damage gear. I have her on A speed range damage, but attack, anti-defender, or A speed anti-defender will work just as well. For the operator, Kim Hana with attack speed, and then enterprise. Again, it's the same enterprise so as in my budget video. So it's going to be just counter range damage, soldier hit, and then the ranger attack. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope this helps you get the minimum score this season. I'm going to keep this short since my intro was so long this time. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can also join the Mage Army by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord, link will be in the description. And if you want to help support this channel, you can find a link in the description for that as well. As always, I will see you all next time.